Hey, welcome to MesaRcFF Foam Fighters. I got Ashton here, and this is the MF-15 Eagle build video. So if you haven't done so already, print out the plans. You can go to our website and download them. Paste them all together in a puzzle and cut it all out and paste them on the foam board. Get all your pieces cut out. And Ashton, why don't you go ahead and walk around what pieces that they should have.
All right, this is the belly pan. That is the bottom of your airplane. This is the right wing. Bevels go on the bottom. This is the back part. This is the back end with your elevator, or as I have it set up, my elvons. Here are the two front pieces, and then these are some struts for the airfoil. This is the the top of your canopy. Here's the bottom of your canopy, which goes on the belly pan. Your two stabilizers. Your canopy, which folds up kind of like this. And your top fuselage piece. And then over here, we've got the left wing. And finally, the main wing piece, which holds it all together.
Cool. Well, let's get started putting them together. Let's get the main wing put together.
All right.
So, on the laser cuts, if you guys buy from Altitude Hobbies, which this should be available now at the store. If it's not, it'll be available here in a couple days. In the hobby, or on this thing, it has these little lines. We made these little guidelines so where you put, your main wing and where you go ahead and put the main wings where they should fold down and stuff. And so when you see those, and if you see those on your drawings, just make little slits to kind of tell yourself this is the top. Okay, this is where the top of your wing's gonna go. So your wing's gonna fold on top of that. I think that's what we said.
Yep.
And then for him, he's doing his control surfaces like this, right?
Yep.
So he's not gonna mess with his ailerons on his main wing. But whatever it is, we went ahead and beveled all these, right?
Yeah, we did that yesterday.
Yeah, so if you look on them, we just saved a step and beveled everything. And then what we suggest too, and we had a couple people suggest to us, and I don't know why we didn't do it before, was actually just kind of go through and you just kind of get like a barbecue skewer, or we just used a black magic marker cap and just bended all these lines. Because with this foam board, it's pretty light and fragile. So if you like bevel like what we used to do, then chances of breaking is pretty good. So anyways, he's got his control surfaces cut. This part here goes on the bottom. And what he's gonna do is, and I'll do it with you, is throw your two pieces of tape, flip it over, glue, flap, tape.
All right.
And I will do the same thing. Glue the seam. And then you just sandwich it back, and then I'll throw some more tape over that. As we go through this build, the main wing will get stronger and stronger as we go. Good.
All right, there's the main wing.
All right, so now we're done with this, right? Just put it on the side.
Put it over here.
All right, I'll put mine over there. Okay, so now what do we want to do? We want to do the fuselage with the belly pan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so how are we going to do this? So these two holes are cleaned out. You can cut them all the way through, it's just that you're going to see the imperfection on the other side. So this one, we're going to just have it here. Anywhere you see these little cut marks, it just means that that's where the front of this goes to kind of help you out. And we always dry fit our stuff just to make sure. So with the dry fit, I'll pinch my flaps. Sometimes it's good to pinch the flaps so they go in the holes easier.
It's looking pretty good for a dry fit. Yep.
Awesome. And so what Ashton's going to do is he's going to take his motor. So here's your firewall. If you buy the kit, it comes with this. He's got to form it. You just put some glue on both tabs and you're good to go. You're going to use a smaller motor. So you're going to use the Supersonic, which is just the same old 22-12-6 brushless motor. You can get them at Altitude Hobbies or anywhere. A lot of people sell it. But what he's gonna wanna do is, and you've had a lot of practice with this, just glue down the center here, and then get this bad boy on there. And when you get it on there, to help you know that you get the right angle, because a lot of people ask this, like, well, how do you know if it should go like this, or should it go like that, or what? Well, you just stick your firewall in there, and you pinch it. Okay, and the firewall is not glued down, it's just held in there like that to help you make sure that this is where you want it to be, and that gives you your angle all the way through. All right, bud, so go ahead and glue yours, I'll do mine. Where's mine? Did I give you mine? Oh, right here.
Okay.
And sometimes too, Tyler, if you want to look at this, if you throw glue in here too, before you do it, that helps too, because that'll seam that up.
Let's do that.
Glue stick ready.
Glue is a bit off. Fix it in a little bit here.
Supersonic.
I'm gonna put some glue in here just to keep it together. Some more glue on the outside.
I'm just gonna hold mine until it dries.
We're gonna put this motor mount inside of the fuselage piece and make sure it still fits good.
Okay. We gotta make sure it's level, right?
Yep.
So there's no thrust angle on this plane. It's just straight up push. So just try to get it as level as you can, and we just throw glue on both our sides here and on the inside of there. Slap it in there, and then maybe we'll throw some extra glue on the side.
Just glue in here. Get a good amount of glue. Don't want this coming off. I'm usually pretty glue heavy with my projects.
Make sure it's level on all sides. How's yours look?
It's looking good.
Awesome.
This is
Okay.
what it'll turn out as.
Yeah.
And this is all nice and that's glue.
Okay, so now we're going to form the canopy.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so typically when we add our canopy or front piece, we like to just kind of help it with the bends a little bit. Okay, and that's what those lines are for. Now this is an art right here. This is an art. So what I usually like to do is I'll take something that's not as sticky, like masking tape or something, and I'll put it right here on the edge. You gotta be careful because it will eat this stuff up. And I get it to right where it forms. And then I almost make like a cavity, and then you'll do the same thing for this side, Ashton. And there might be a little bit of a gap right here. That's okay. Just put some tape over that, flip it over, and just fill it in.
Still a little sticky. There we go.
See, I have my kids do that. Another way you can do too is simply just throw a piece of packaging tape right here, and it kind of closes up already. So what I'll do now is I'll just fill it in, just like that.
Fill in that edge.
And when you're done with the nose will eventually just get cut off anyway. I mean, you can cut some of the nose off. It doesn't look as good. And then when he's done, you just peel the tape off when it's all dry. So probably tomorrow we'll just peel it off. So we're looking pretty good. Sweet. Okay, so now what's next?
We can put this main piece
All right.
on top of here.
And we're just gonna dry fit it.
Yep. See how it all fits together.
Make sure too that you have this part down. You're good. So I'm gonna dry fit.
Looking like it fits pretty well.
And mine fits good. And then what we'll probably do is you just want to glue that right down on top then?
Yeah, we're gonna slip these under then.
We can glue these first if you want.
All right.
Okay, let's glue those first. So you just take it off, throw some glue between those two latches. Plop it back on then. Make sure you feed your motor wires through your hole. There should be a little motor hole, or a hole for your wires. You know what I'm saying? The one you made? This one?
Oh, that one, yep.
I want to make sure I filter that through first before I go.
Through.
Oh, like a glove. Cool. So here's mine. Got my wires through. So just in case something does happen, a lot of guys wanted an open space so they can get their ESC or maybe move the battery back instead of having that tray. So Ashton just opened it up, which was doable now because we had the whole wing. So now you just go from there. Okay, now what's next? Sides, right?
Yeah.
Dry fit. I won't dry fit this. So my suggestion would be to throw a bead of glue inside the seam here, just like that, Ashton, and then throw some glue down on this top piece here. Or you don't have to at all. I won't even do that. I bet you it looks cleaner if you don't do that. Just get it in there and then glue on the side. Okay, so just like get it in there and then throw some glue on the side. All right, so I'll do it this way. And go one side at a time. Don't try to stretch yourself out and do all the sides at once.
This isn't fitting quite as well, but try to work around it.
Sometimes it can get kind of ugly. Oh yeah. Let's make sure it goes up over here. Ching-ching. Sweet. So then I'll just go across. And I just keep running my tip of my glue gun over it. Gives me a good seam, and it should be pretty good. Just like that. This is so much easier than half of our builds. I guess we just keep on getting smarter. Today, Ashton. Okay, so what are we gonna do next? The main line?
Yep, and actually before that I'm gonna take some of this tape off.
Oh, okay.
Now that it's all dried.
Mine's dry. I guess mine's not as good as his. Yeah, there's mine. I just did that taping on the front. Fill it in. Alright, so what now with the main wing?
Yep.
Okay, so we're completely different on ours because he's setting his up for no ailerons. He's doing the flap irons in the back. Okay, and I have to do mine differently. So let's do yours first. And we're just gonna put these down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do mine.
So before we started recording, these came unfolded and then I put some glue in there. Yeah.
I got some right here.
And then just pinched them together. and created these that we can now place in this wing.
And screw it down. Now I would suggest that you do this before putting down the servos if you choose to do ailerons.
Right, now we can...
This is going to strengthen up the wing as well as give that airfoil effect. It's like the same thing that flight test does. Okay, now don't lose these two pieces. You can, they're so easy to lose in the plans, and if you buy it from Altitude Hobbies, you can lose these two. But they go right on the end here. You screw them down, and they're to kind of help not create too dramatic of a drop in the airfoil. Oops. Because if you don't, it's going to have a dramatic drop in the back. And so this helps prevent that. So now this next piece, this is, I think this is probably the only tricky part in the whole build. And that is doing the fold over. And so what I typically do, I'll throw a piece of packing tape right over the front. And I'll even do two of them. Okay. Now, what you see on here, there's a little marking on here, and it's on your plans, and obviously if you buy the kits, it's engraved in the kit. What you're going to want to do is, and Ashton, you're going to try to do this on the other side. This is the tricky part. You're going to try to line up the edge of that to the bottom of this. Just going to get my finger out of there. There we go. There we go. And then, sorry. And then what you're going to want to do is take our blade and just cut off the rest of this tape here. Or you can fold it up, doesn't matter. For me, I just get rid of it. When you double tape, it makes it easier to cut too. Alright, so now what you want to do is you do the exact same thing that Flight Test does, that Josh does with his folds. He gets like a scrap, and we'll get a scrap piece of foam board. Okay, so while Ashton's doing that, all he does is just put like a little help here. And what we want to do is we just want to strengthen up this joint. And you know, there's got to be better ways out there, and we're not experts at this. This is just what we're used to. Now I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and then when we're ready, we're going to start to fold that over. Okay? So Ashton, you go ahead and start on the other side.
All right.
And while he's doing that, Kyle, you want to come over here because I'm going to have to show these guys next if you're going to put ailerons. Okay. So I would again do the same thing, but you want to make sure that you plug in you guys' servos into your receiver and kind of test them out and make sure that they work. And because man, if you pull this stuff over and your servos doesn't work, it'll really suck. So we got ourselves a Y split here, and I got my two servos that I've tested and made sure they worked. Okay, and I know that when I do ailerons, they both move opposite sides. And I don't necessarily care too much about whether or not one's going the right direction because I can just reverse it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the servo right up against my frame here, and hopefully what will happen is that you want to make sure it lines up right down the middle of that opening square. I don't want it like this, I don't want it like that, I don't want it like this, I want it like that. So give us the full motion of our servos. So all I'm going to do is, I'm going to throw up some glue. You can see these have been used before. I'm going to set that down right there, make sure it's nice and straight. I'm not going to care too much about length. If you guys use like set, you know, control rods and stuff, then obviously you're going to want to measure it out. That's always a pain in the butt. We start to use these now from Flight Test. You can buy them anywhere, but we bought these from Flight Test. They're super nice, really easy to work with. And I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Get it right down the middle as best I can. Make sure it's straight, make sure my other one's nice and straight. Yep, I'm good. And when you fold over your wings, this is going to get a lot tougher too. So you're going to put a little glue on that. That'll help out. My linkage is up here. Maybe I'll throw like a little glue stopper so I don't mess up my wires. I want a little more control with my plane. I want to be able to do rolls and some crazy maneuvers. At least I say I want to, but can I do it? I don't know. I'm still learning how to fly. Alright, so this is pretty much dry now, and I'm going to put glue here, oops, and here, along here, up here, and back here, and then fold it over, press it all down, and it should finish up like this. Do it again for here, 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 and back here. You don't forget that part right there. Oh, yes, right here. Did it over on that side. Sweet. Oh, that might have just come undone. That came undone? Might have. Did it? Just a little bit? A little bit. Okay. That should be alright. So what we did too on this one was, while he's holding that, we added more space from here, and it went down to a smaller point, so that when you guys do your canopy covers will actually be able to sit, you know, right inside that slot and make it look, you know, really, really sharp. Because on the 18 we didn't do that, we just went straight back. And so, you know, some people had this big old gap in there, so we're fixing it. So, yeah, this looks good, because he's keeping those nice and strong. And then if you want to, you can always go back and do some more tape, but oh, it looks like it just kind of opened up a little bit. That's okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's looking good.
Sweet. You forgot to do this side.
Oh yeah, we never finished that.
Alright, Tyler, come on over here. Okay, so now, here's with the ailerons now. And I'm going to do the exact same thing that Ashton did. And kind of dry fit it to make sure it folds over just right. And if I have to bend it just a little bit, that's okay. So yeah, this looks good. I'm going to do it just like how he did, but on my side. just like that. I'll do the same thing on both sides. All right, so now we're done with our wings. Ashton, why don't you go ahead and show your wings, and I'll show.
Right.
All right, so I got my my Y split here for my ailerons, and on the bottom here you'll see that they're nice and inset, ready to rock and roll.
Here are my wings, pretty straight, and then we're gonna get my elevons on the back hooked up here in a little bit.
And you're gonna show them how you're gonna do that?
Yep.
So you got your two.
So I've got my 2 servos, got my push rods, and my extensions. First thing we're gonna do is line up the push rod with my elevon, and then this one will do the same thing.
Did you get your control horns?
Not yet.
Oh, here they are.
Oh, okay.
So what he'll want to do is he'll put his, line them up, he'll put his control horns in first, glue them down, and then he can go from there to make sure they're nice and level. Now for me, I have to do my elevator, so I got, and it's always a good thing too to hook everything up. When you hook everything up, test it, make sure your servos work, make sure that you know, everything's in line. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it. I'll probably just put mine like this. Or put like this so I don't have to have that wire carried over. And then for me, I'm gonna have to do it the hard way. I'm gonna use those to get those on. Cool?
Cool.
Alright.
So, make sure this is straight here. Right, just right in the center, right here.
Huh?
Right in the center here.
Is that where you line them up? So you're gonna line them up there. And
then you can scoot it back.
Yeah, and you want
as
to
far as
be,
you want.
you always want your control horns. I always try to line them up, my holes with my bevel cut.
Okay.
So wherever that is, that's where you're gonna make a little indent, little incision mark, and glue it and slide it in. Tyler, that you guys need to do, and I think you guys do the same thing for flight test stuff. See how I have my aileron? I haven't glued it in yet, but I'm just making sure that my servo's nice and straight. You want to cut this little notch out right here, and you really can make it as long as you need to. But there's like a little bit of bend and stuff to that push rod, so. For me, I'm just going to cut that part out. So now I've got that space, so now that thing can actually, the control horn can go in and out. And I'll do that for both of my.
I went ahead and glued this one down here. Line this one up. There. And then slip this in right about there. And then we'll glue these down. Alright, so I have gone ahead and glued my servos down and then run one of my servo extensions through and then up over the motor mount and then through this hole here. And then it's going to stay like this, so I'll show you guys how to do this other one here.
You can always give a little more slack too, Tyler, if you look over here. We always like to kind of give a little more slack right here, and then you just throw another piece of tape over that. And I'd use the packing tape instead of that.
Okay. And to not bevel this part of the front area here for strength, but instead, or not instead, but Also just bevel this area so that it fits nicely on here. And then we can just take our glue gun, run some glue along here and some along here, and then let it sit real good. Also put some glue down here too. Make sure that's sitting flat. Just let that sit for a little bit. I'm going to add some more glue here. Doesn't quite want to stay. Use this other one. Do the same thing on this side. Don't bevel this for strength. Bevel this so that it fits nicely. Run some glue along here and along here and also along here. So now that everything is looking good so far, we're going to add this piece, this fuselage piece. We're going to place it on here, and I am going to take some of my tape and put it along this edge here, and then fold it over right here. We're going to use the same method that we used with the wing, and take my glue gun, glue stick, gonna glue this and this, that, and of course this right here, and fold it over. Let it sit like this for a while.
How's it coming, Ashton?
It's doing good. Just letting this glue dry. Awesome.
Yeah, I should fit right inside there. Perfect. It's looking good. This is an art. This is hard to do, you know, but a lot of people were like, can it be any easier? I'm sure it could be easier. You know, put some struts in there or something, and everyone's got their own way of doing it. But this is definitely an art, you know, to make it look more like a plane. You're gonna have to throw in those extra, you know, bins and crannies. So while he's waiting, come on over here. I'll show you where I'm at on 3-1. So here's where I did this servo. Just got it locked in there. Put it here. Okay, seem to be okay. The other two are good shape. This little ballness could be extended it, so I ran it on the outside. You can really do anything you want. And then also, if you're using a bigger motor, you might have to cut the opening a little bit more, and I suggest you go out this way instead of that way. And then now I'm just doing this exact same thing that Ashton was doing with mine, and I'll be getting on the nose cone here.
Alright, so I think mine is pretty good, and I'm going to come up here, get some glue under here, and especially back up front there, and then place it down. Also going to put some glue in here, and I can get to there down here. Let that dry, and then we'll be all ready. Alright, so I've got my canopy piece here all glued. It looks pretty good. I'm actually going to take this piece of tape off here now that it's nice and glued. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue the stabilizers in. The F-15 has straight stabilizers, so we're not going to put any angle on it. We're just going to dry fit it here, and then I'm going to put glue in here, a little bit back here, a little bit up here, and plop it in. And then also run a little bit down the side, a little bit down the side, just so that it stays nice and steady. We're going to do the same thing with the right stabilizer.
Looking good, bud.
All right.
Okay, so now this last step, sorry, excuse me. He's done a fantastic job with this build. This is it's no easy task, and so far, what do you think of all the changes you made now? What do you think now?
It looks a lot better than it did before our first design, that's for sure.
And the build was a lot easier?
It was easy. This is probably one of the easiest builds I've done.
Now, what Ashton's going to want to do is we'll go ahead, before you do your last two steps, which is your canopy. And for our canopy, what we like to do is we put that packaging tape on the whole thing, and then we use this just for the time being. And then this back piece, he's not going to put this on yet because he's going to make sure that his ESCs are in the correct spot, or his connection in the correct spot so his motor's turned the right way. And then make sure he's got everything all connected. And then this top canopy piece just folds right into this little groove that he designed. And you can either leave it there, not even do anything, or what you could do is you can actually glue it in, or magnets, or whatever it might be. These would then get glued right on the side, just like that. And then you throw in glue in these cracks here and place it over there so it sits nice and flat. Or if you need to tighten it up, and you just hold it, and then it'll almost form like a mold. And then when you have that done, then you can take it off, pull off the tape, and now you're set to go. The CG on this is 5 3/8 from this leading edge right here. So 5 3/8 going this way. Mark your CG, place your battery. The battery, typically if you run this setup, should fit right in smack dab in this area, if it's 2200. And then paint it, and we're ready to rock and roll and fly.
All right.
Cool? Well, thanks for hanging out with Ashton for this build video for his MF-15 Eagle. This build will be available here, it might not now, but here in a couple weeks at Altitude Hobbies. So go and support the program and buy his design at Altitude Hobbies. Thanks for watching.